Hello and welcome to the Greek island of Lesvos. It's a wonderful spring morning here. It's warm and the birds are singing. Ideal conditions for a spot of bird watching. Now, I don't count myself as a birder, but I'm here with some friends who come every year for bird watching. So I thought I'd tag along and find out what it's all about. The Greek island of Lesvos is situated in the northern Aegean, just a few miles from Turkey. Lesvos is not well known as a holiday destination, but in recent years it's become popular for bird watching. It's a stopover point for migrating birds, and in springtime it attracts bird enthusiasts from all over Europe. I've come to Scala Colonis, a traditional fishing village that's become the most popular base for visiting bird watchers. It reminds me very much of Greek villages I visited over 40 years ago, except that the plumbing is better now, and they have Wi-Fi in the tavernas. This is my guidebook. It tells you what species to look for and where to find them. There are 12 local birding sites I hope to visit. I've set off with my birdwatching friends on a walk through olive groves and farmland. It was a nice walk, but there weren't many birds. So we went on to the next birding site, driving up into the hills and then walking to a high viewpoint. From here we could see birds in the distance, but of course it wasn't clear what they were. I think my friends enjoyed guessing the identity of distant birds, but I realised it wasn't for me. I was bored, so I went off to explore the nearby coastline. I discovered a beautiful bay bordered by wildflowers. Amongst the wildflowers are thread lacewings. And here's a bird that doesn't fly off when I approach. It's a corn bunting, a common bird here, but new to me, and it's always nice when a bird poses for the camera. I get up early to visit Metochi Lake, one of the top birding sites in the Colonial region. It's 5:30 a.m. That's 3:30 a.m. London time, by the way. It was well worth getting up early because there's no one else here. It's beautiful and so peaceful at sunrise. By 7 a.m, there is a steady stream of birders arriving, so I went home to catch up on my sleep. My guidebook directed me to a local river, and I set off down this bumpy dirt track. The river was buzzing with swallows and martins. I set out to explore the land bordering the river and the beach. There were little brown birds running around everywhere, blending in with the landscape. These are crested larks. They moved so quickly, I struggled to get anywhere near them. The larks always seemed to be one step ahead of me, so I turned my attention to the trees and shrubs. I could hear birds, but they were well hidden, so I just set up my camera and waited. After several minutes, this little bird appeared. I'm told it's an olivaceous warbler, but it's very difficult to tell. They all look the same to me. Driving can be hazardous. The potholes can damage your rental car. The road may be blocked by herds of sheep. And watch out for tortoises crossing the road. The tortoise was so slow, I decided to help it along. Let's see that again in slow motion. I drove along slowly, looking out for birds. More crested larks, but they are so infuriating. Easy to see through the windscreen, but not to photograph from the driver's window. Of course, when I got out, they ran off quickly. I soon learnt that the best way to see birds is from the car. This is a nightingale, by the way, a long way from its home in Berkeley Square. This is a bee-eater. It likes to perch high up and can see you coming a mile off, so I was lucky to film this one. Look at the tent on the left bank. It's a birding hide which was often here in the morning. That's a really determined birder, who must have a strong bladder. He seemed to be photographing some stilts that unfortunately moved away when they saw me. I imagined he cursed me for that. Still, it was a lovely spot, so I set up my camera to film birds at the water's edge. Back at the village, it's time for lunch. About 10 minutes drive from the river are the Colonial salt pans, one of the most popular birding sites on the island. And opposite is a wetland that attracts a large variety of waders, and a lot of birders too. I was hoping that the flamingos would do a mating dance, but no, they just waded around and mostly stood on one leg. According to Wikipedia, no one knows why they do that. I discovered that keen birders were reporting their sightings on Facebook and other social media, and there was a lot of interest in a pair of nesting birds in the Aquilidary forest. That's about 15 minutes drive south of Scala Colonis. This is a nuthatch and two hungry fledglings. I did a few day trips to other parts of the island. The landscape is quite varied. Rocky deserts, mountains, plains, forests and lush green countryside. With the road to yourself, it's a joy to drive around. My guidebook recommends a trip to the northwest, stopping at Ipsalu Monastery. It's about an hour's drive through mountains and desert. Stopping at the monastery is almost essential, as it has the only toilet facilities for miles around. It's a hair-raising drive to the top, but the views are wonderful. From the monastery, it's about 20 minutes drive to the northwest coast. And then down a very rough road to another birding site. My car really isn't suitable for these roads. I should have got a 4x4. I arrive at a small stream where the birders are excited by this strange-looking bird, a little bittern. But my attention was drawn to a large population of frogs at the river crossing. It's a really bad location for them. Hundreds of frogs get squashed every time a car crosses here. Horrific. I did several more day trips and I've really enjoyed exploring the island and discovering its wildlife. Even though Lesvos mainly attracts a hardcore of dedicated birders, it's also a great holiday destination for anyone who loves travel and nature. There is plenty more to see, and I look forward to coming again next year.